I'm loving it. And yeah, so this talk, it's going to be really short, but tomorrow there's a longer version of it. It's basically me sharing my experience of developing Pixel Ripped. I'm the creator of this series. It was a student project, and over the 10 years, I've been working on 3 episodes. We released it. So this journey of developing a game in an industry that is changing and evolving so much. I am with Árvore Immersive Experience. We are a company set in Brazil, São Paulo. Today we are the largest in South America. We are around 100 people. We have been working just with Immersive Experience XR for 7 years. It's going to be really quick slide, sorry. So yeah, this is all the episodes and timeline, and starting with my student project. And it's going to be a highlight of the major changes in the industry until we got here. Quick background story, I took a long time to find myself as a game developer. I actually did a degree in psychology. I worked 5 years doing divorces at the Justice Council, because why not? And as a form of escape from that work, I started selling pies, and I had a small business of pies called Padas Quero Mais. It means I want more. And then when I was going to open the pie shop, I realized I love games. So this was 2009, and I started a new life, second life. And then I studied 1 year of games programming in London, SAE London. I moved to England as well. And I ended up managing to enter a master's degree in game design at the NFTS. It's not NFTs. I always have to say now, it's the National Film and Television School. And this is a picture of me trying VR for the first time. I was lucky enough to have a student in the year before me that had a DK1. And this was 2013. I bought my DK1. I was like, excited. I had this headset. I was like, oh my God, I have to build something with this. And in the end of the course, you had a whole year. You can make your final degree, a master's final project. And I was excited. I had a DK1 and a dream. And I didn't know what to build, but I knew I wanted something for VR from the ground. And I was struggling with the concept, and then I had this dream that I was playing a game on a TV, and the game was evolving and changing. Imagine you playing like a NES, and the game evolves to 3D until the whole game is realistic, and my living room was pixelating together. I woke up with that dream. Oh my God, gonna make a time machine, a game that players will go back in time and experience video game the way it used to be, that feeling that we had in the 80s. I'm from 1983, so that leaving that industry and seeing that changing so much, it was like something we're never gonna see again. So I started with that idea, okay, it's gonna be a time machine, but this is actually a screenshot from my first game overview, and a drawing that I did from what was going to be the game about. And this is how it was. The main character played so many games that is now lost in virtual reality. Help him get back to his life on this trip through the video game's evolution. So basically, it was pretty depressing concept. This guy is stuck in a sofa, and he's playing games, and he can't leave the sofa the whole game. And each level, he will see his life passing by. And imagine his wife comes, but he can just see pixels. Characters, and your son talks to you, but you don't understand because there's no pixels enough until the life goes passing by. Anyway, it was not what I was envisioned for the game. And then I spoke to the head of the course, and he's like, why you don't make a female character? Like, you're gonna put more of your own experience. And I was like, oh my God, even I didn't thought about it. Like, I'm a woman, and I thought, gamer, it's gonna be a man. And I created Dot, which I usually cosplay Dot, but today my ears are broke and I couldn't cosplay. But Dot is basically the character I wish it existed when I was a kid. She represents all those games. I grew up loving it, and I wish that character exists when I was a kid. So she has a laser gun like Mega Man, she jumps like Mario, she collects the rings like Sonic when she loses health, so she lost pixels. So she references all those characters, but she's a badass female character, and it's not a big deal about it. And that's... Oh, I think I left the presentation. Could you help me? I'm sorry, I don't know what I pressed, just going forward. So after changing the character to a female character, suddenly the game started to get into shape, like Lester said. And the idea of the levels would be set in an era of gaming, and that was keep it like from my dream, right? Each level, it's pretty ambitious, right? 5 levels game where each level is set in an era of gaming, and then the dot will be evolving as the industry is evolving. It's such a big idea. Of course, I was a student, so we always have this like, yeah, I'm gonna make an RPG. So, but it started to get to the shape of what is Pixel Ripped about today. And it started to flow more. But while I was trying to discover what was the game about, I was discovering what was VR about. Like, this is 2014. Like, there was, you were basically in the Wild Wild West. Today, it's still like a young industry, but that time there was, you have to test it yourself and figure out things. There was no, like today you have a bunch of integrations. You can open Unreal, Unity. There's projects like you can press in virtual reality project, and there is a lot of tutorials online. At that time, you had like a camera you can put in your scene and turn into a VR camera. We had Tuscan. I don't know if any of you guys were in the DK1 area. Remember? Yeah. We had the dinosaurs. So yeah, it was hard, like building such a ambitious game with such a new technology, right? Today we know we have guidelines. We have games that we can use as parameters, like you have Half-Life Alyx, you have big projects, Beat Saber. At that time, there was a lot of roller coasters. So the student project is ready. I'm going to show you a trailer from that time.
I'm so bored.
Well, not anymore, you're not. Not when you've got Pixel Rift to keep you entertained.
Whoa, yeah! Ultimate!
Explore amazing lands. But watch out, once you enter the Pixel Rift, you may never want to come back. Pixel Rift is available for your home entertainment system now. Now in color.
Basically, I decided to do a vertical slice, and I had a 15-minute demo of the game where you are in level 3 in a classroom. I'm not going to go deep into this now, it's too much. But this trailer we recorded at the NFTS is this good thing about being at film school, because it had, when I put on Oculus Share, I don't know, it's not going forward. Could you help me? When at that time there was no store, right? For those remember, there was Oculus Share was a website where everyone was sharing everything they're doing. No one was selling anything, but it was a place where you could go and download the experience. And there was a lot of roller coasters. And when I put Pixel Rift there, it was called Pixel Rift. It got a lot of attention, and I wasn't expecting that. It was maybe because also the trailer made in the film school got that feeling it wasn't a student project. Also, there was a lot of roller coasters, so people they dying for content, and there was Valkyrie. There was some good games, but there wasn't not much in comparison to the roller coasters. So I was lucky to, when I put the game there, I was like, oh my God, maybe the game is good. Like YouTubers start playing the game. I got press approaching and investors. Dreams approached me, was the first investor. I was like, oh my God, maybe I have to make this game. Maybe it's good. Because so far, I had been testing the game with people that never seen VR before. So it's like you're showing your movie to someone that never saw a television. Of course, they're going to talk about the TV. So they're all like, oh my God, this is incredible. I never seen this before, VR. Wow. So it was really hard to tell, is my game good or VR good? So this is the first time I saw people that know VR, and the game got in first place. This is a picture to show it. It was like not so long. But I managed to take a picture when it was in first place. And then when you open the website, you could see the top 3 or 5 rated games. So this got me a lot of attention for a student. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to leave university and make this a releasable game. And it was really clever to decide to focus in episode release. So 5 levels became 5 games. And 1989 was going to be the first game to work on. I'm not going to go through this, but then I entered this indie journey from 2015 to 2017. I had a friend, we joined forces, and we opened a business in England, ended up getting a Kickstarter that failed, moved to Silicon Valley, got an investment from an accelerator, then money was gone. I was like 2016 working for another company while I was working in the project with friends helping. Anyway, it was really hard to finish it complex game by yourself, until I found Avery in 2017, and this is basically the picture of us releasing the first game, this GIF in the left. It was like 15 people, and now this is the picture from last year. We are like 100 people now. And yeah, it was important to get some time to find the right publisher, because we're still together until now. And also to learn about also VR, to wait for the industry to grow. This project the first game took like 4 years, it's too long. And of course it suffered a little bit from design, because we started using a lot of gaze interaction. There was no hand tracking. And remember, we are here releasing the game in 2018. This is we have Beat Saber. We lost all the prizes for Beat Saber, but I was happy when Beat Saber win. I was like, yeah, Beat Saber is the best. It's okay to lose to Beat Saber. They deserve it. But anyway, there was we had the Vive Pro, Oculus Go, room scale so everyone was excited for that, right? Grabbing things around, and we were using gaze interaction, and that was something I think the first project suffered from it. Moving forward in the timeline, we're going well together. So we started from scratch, 1995 with Avery, and it was much quicker. Like in 2 years, we released it, and it was 2020, the pandemic, and we ended up going full remote. Before we worked in Avery. Now, until today, we're full remote. And we have here the Quest, right? The Quest releasing. I think the big thing here was optimization. We have like mobile builds and all that, so we have to optimize the game. Before it was basically PC VR was like the big thing in the industry. And now, for the first time, I have to focus on that. Optimizing 1989 to run on the Quest was like a nightmare. We had to take the kids' teeth from the game. They don't have tooth. It's sad. I'm not gonna enter in details. Anyway. This is a significant shift in the industry. We hear, probably you all there, right? We had like a social VR like growing a lot. First time Christmas we sell more than consoles, right? Headsets sell more than consoles. And we ended up making a release party inside VR. That was something really cool, because we wanted to celebrate when we finished the game. And we ended up going to Rec Room. There was a world built by a team where we had an event, and we ended up using this world. And it was great because we could meet not only team members that were not in Brazil, but also meet fans of the game and do this party together in Rec Room. In the bottom here, we also did a partnership with Fail to Render when we had Outspace. So Outspace now is gone, but that was a good memory. We ended up partnering with comedians, and I did like one of the pixel riff scenarios, and we got comedians coming. So I think these social interactions was something that grow a lot during that time. Then we partner. This is the first time we partner with a company outside to finish a game. When we did the third episode, it was also 2 years to complete Pixel Riff 1978. We released it last year, and it was a coincidence. We're not planning to do a partnership with Atari. We're already building a game like we did the previous Pixel Rips, where we always reference games and brands in a way that people know what it is. Oh, this is Sonic, but it's called the Red Raccoon. And we're doing this with Atari. We had another name for the company, and they're like, this is kind of, people will know it's Atari, but we couldn't say it. And we had this working the game for 1 year, and the CEO managed to find 5 guys with Atari T-shirts when he was in Vegas, another event. And he showed that, look, we should show you guys we're doing this VR game about Atari. And then they love it. They wanted to not only help us with IPs and contract stuff to use the IPs, but also publish the game. So this is the first time we actually managed to use the consoles and the art. They sent us like a bunch of photos from the office. We ended up rebuilding the office, have like the Atari 2600. It was a dream come true. Atari was my first console, so it was like surreal. And this is the time we are working full remote. And when we started this game, the company was already full remote. And I think something for me, a highlight from this, apart from working with Atari, it was the best experience I had as a developer. When we start building this game, I want us to explore, be more close to each other because we're remote. And we're, at the time, working with Horizon Worlds. And I decided, let's make just a brainstorm inside Horizon. Let's go there just so we can try some stuff. It was like the ideation phase of the game. And we ended up spending 2 months inside Horizon Worlds. And this is in the left. This is us having meetings there and planning the whole game, the core loop of the game, and the main mechanics. We left after 2 months with all the major points of the game like done and visualized. And this in the top left is a boss battle in the end of the game, where you enter a board and you see the characters from outside, and this is the final boss in the end of the game that we visualized, that we actually tested in Horizon. Is like puppeteering, like, hey, this boss is here, and then you're gonna enter. And was visualized in this just 2 months there, and this is the final version in the game. So it was, I actually have a whole talk about this, the experience of developing a game from inside, and how we should use more, and how I see this as the future of VR development. And it was really frustrating to go back to the 2D screen and go back to the traditional engines and the way we develop today. I think we are in a transition stage where it's not good enough in none of them. Like, you have to kind of go back to the PC so you can make a build that runs on PlayStation, all the platforms. Then you cannot finish a game in a platform that's going to be stuck in Horizon World, so we had to go back and put in the headset and taking out. Anyways, who developed games here for VR knows it just feels like we're using an engine and a technology that was made for developers to make PC games and 2D screens, and we're trying to use it, but it's not there. So I have a whole talk. I can send the link in the end about this frustration, but also hope for the future. I think that's definitely the best experience I had as a creator, to be together with the team inside the game, building it. And yeah, this was a really short talk. I tried to summarize the key moments. It's 10 years, so it just feels like I'm rushing through. But I tried to focus on the highlights of developing this series. Of course, remember the 5 levels. There is still 2 more to come. We released it 1989, which is focusing on playing a Game Boy in a classroom in the Game Boy era, and you have to distract the teacher to complete the game. 1995, basically you were trying to play the game your mother wants you to play outside, and it's basically the first PlayStation is released, the first 3D games come, and the battle with Sega Genesis and Nintendo. And then Pixel Ripped 1978, which is about Atari, and you are a developer inside Atari, not a kid like the other games. So summarizing, this is the 3 episodes, but there's like Pixel Ripped 2000, which are already hidden inside the game, everyone knows. But we didn't start it yet, and this is the one coming next. We are having a break, like I'm having a break from Pixel Ripped, and this year I work 1 year in another project that we actually released yesterday. It's called Clawball, Your Cat Playing Soccer. It's totally different from anything we've done, like it's a multiplayer game, it's for kids, and we released yesterday in early access. So I'm having this break between, because it's 10 years on Pixel Ripped series, but next year the plan is to go back to Pixel Ripped, to build Pixel Ripped 2000. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if there is time for questions, but tomorrow I'm giving this talk in a longer version, which I'll go deeper into other stuff. But if you guys want to contact me as well, these are my contacts. Feel free to contact me to talk more about any subject or anything. And yeah, I don't know if do you have time for questions? It's 1 minute.
Yeah, we can have a few questions.
Yeah.
If someone is interested, has some.
Or we can do the questions in the panel afterwards.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, we're gonna have a panel in the end. And thank you.
All right.
Woo.